WrestleMania weekend was insane, but not in the way you expected, not in a good way. Lots of missed opportunities, lots of sponsorships, one of the most expensive WrestleManias of all time, and what we got to see was probably some questionable storylines, but I'll get into it. I'll let you know exactly what I feel. Of course, there were some good matches, some good hard feelings, and we all love the WrestleMania feeling, but you're watching Ringside Riffs. My name's Andres, and we're just riffing. So let me just dive into what happened this whole WrestleMania weekend, starting with, of course, SmackDown. What we have is a questionable question of all time. What happened to the Street Profits, one of the hottest SmackDown teams of all time, one of the tag team divisions that are really hot? We had their TLC moved all the way to SmackDown, and you might be saying, yes, well, we have to save some ratings over for what else is happening on TV. We can't just have everything on the product. We already know that the Raw After WrestleMania was the craziest of all time, but we're left wondering what exactly will be happening with SmackDown. Well, they kind of spoiled it. They had us left with we're gonna have a TLC match there. Well, why not have it in WrestleMania? I mean, they were one night away. We already are invested in all these people, and we don't understand why they gave it to the War Raiders against the New Day. Wait, I think we do. Talking about ads, we're jumping into the Clash of Titans, that little game, that little ad. Yes, even YouTube people have been sponsored by it, but we're gonna say that even with the WWE superstars, we had the War Raiders dressed up as Clash of Titans icons. We had their little logo there. Everybody was in it. Those commentators were saying that they should have gave it to the New Day because they are the up down down host, but we have to be wondering, is this what the WWE is coming to? Ring announcers, ring sponsored placements, logos, dressed up superstars. I mean, this felt like an all out ad. It's starting to feel less like it's spectacular, less like they're focused on storytelling and the show, and more on placing the ads, such as what I think should have been called the New Day winning their 12th tag team title. I mean, they have done something no other tag team has done. They are definitely Hall of Famers. They've done this new turn to be heels. After a long, longevity career of being the good people, we're left wondering why they now chosen not only to turn their back on Big E, which makes sense, but they're turning their back on the fans, on the WWE crowd that they once loved to laugh and cry with. They are here now taking on the boos, they're taking on the cheers, and they're no longer being part of us. So we're all here for the New Day, for the new day, for these. Thank God for the New Day, for what they've done, for these new opportunities that they created as being heels, because they're going to let a lot of more tag teams come up. They're going to let more people come up. NXT has shown us that there are people that are coming up. Yes, it was there. We had Rusev make his new entrance. We had some NXT people such as Roxanne Perez and, of course, Stephanie Vecchia show up on Raw, and we can only know that these new cards that they're taking out, these logos, these patches that they're pulling up on these top cards, they're another form of advertisement, another form of collectors, another form of taking in revenue, because the WWE knows what they're building. They're building a conglomerate, a big media stream. They're saying that they've sold out both shows, and NXT and the Raw After WrestleMania. They're saying that T-Mobile Stadium, that Allegiant Stadium were sold out, that all those seats were there. There's some TikTok videos, there's some videos out there floating that not all the seats were taken. There's some people alleging that they're just fluffing up the numbers so that it all sounds good. But what is infallible is that they are actually growing. They're being watched in the India, in Japan, in Canada, in Germany. They're being international. They're having this platform. They're being able to just continually dominate the super entertainment of sports media. They're trying to be the conglomerate of everybody, and we're here for it. Why? Because it's what they're showing so far at places like WrestleMania. Yes, there were ads, there were things to be kind of upset if you're a die-hard, hardcore, long-term wrestling fan, because it isn't what it used to be, but there's other things that leave us with the good taste of, hey, this company is continuing to grow. They're continuing to put in what they've done to show they deserve for more and more to come up their way. So we can only understand that little by little they will continue to grow. They will continue to be the number one sports entertainment. And so far, WrestleMania continues to lead the pack, continues to have all this. Just like these ads, we got to see Logan Paul against AJ Styles, another celebrity making his rounds, making his own entrance. We got to see the influence of what it takes of an influencer to not only be part of wrestling, such as before, with the Floyd Mayweathers, with everybody else who's been involved. He's actually creating his own entrances. He's showing the WWE the drone, because I believe before the whole WWE drone system, before the Netflix era, it was pretty much Logan Paul who's continued to put in those camera implementations, and now it was reflected in that entrance. It was reflected in that midway promo where he goes up to the Prime station. I mean, we have literally one of the owners of Prime, a high energy sports drink. Yes, even if you love or hate the guy is already established. He's already a millionaire, a billionaire, whatever you want to call it. He's got companies, and he's right there in the wrestling world. They're definitely going to put him over. AJ Styles, a Hall of Famer, a legend, an all-time great, definitely gives him the win. And we have what Karrion Kross came out to do. It was a nice, heartfelt promo cut to the feelings that definitely were there. We got to see Karrion Kross on the Raw After podcast, and he definitely let his feelings know, telling us that, hey, I don't believe that people like this should be continuing to set precedent in the WWE. How we're just giving people like Travis Scott a platform, Logan Paul a platform, Bad Bunny a platform. Yes, they definitely are athletic. They're great for business. They have done a lot of things, but giving them WrestleMania moments, giving them things that WWE superstars strive for. They come into the career, they get cut, they get thrown into independent indie scenes, and then they come up again. It's hard for families that never even had money, that never even had the sites, that are barely showing up. I mean, Karrion Kross had all the right to say this. He's been in the company for 10 years, and he definitely was there questioning everything that WWE was doing. Why, in fact, could it be that they don't deserve to be promoting things like that? Yes, it's always going to be a business side of it. It's always going to be about the money, and that's why it's starting to feel like a big Super Bowl ad. Everybody wants to be now in the WWE's commercial site. Everybody wants to be there for what they have to build. They want to be another conglomerate business that is pouring in the money to what they're taking in, and WWE has been always about taking in money since the times of the ex-owners to what they are doing now. Since what they're doing with the launch of TKO, they definitely continue to just strive for more money. They continue to strive to make the best out of the best, to continue to strive for entertainment. They want to make sure it is them that are on top of the industry. The Rock didn't appear. We were left wondering, why was The Rock not there in his WrestleMania? Why did The Rock not show up to work? After months of teasing, after saying things, after being involved in a storyline where it appeared where maybe we would see this trio of Travis Scott, John Cena, and The Rock appear once again, it was not that. It was left for something else. It was there that The Rock was just in Hawaii at the same time that we got to see that it was WrestleMania time. And why did he not appear? The final boss, he gives so much. He didn't even appear in the Raw After. We have to be questioning Or is he just pulling up on our strings? Is he just using us? Is he just continuing to build up on this story because he doesn't have to show up on the ring? He can be doing all of this. He can leave it ambiguous. He can make it an extended for years. And that's the beauty of a long-term storytelling. No, Rock, you need to close down some chapters sometimes. You need to come in and tell us exactly why you let us do what we done. Why couldn't John Cena have just turned heel by himself? Why couldn't it just have been the Greed? Why do we have to have the final boss having John Cena have sold his soul? Where did that even come into play? I mean, sometimes they're just trying to push things in. They're just trying to let little ambiguous pieces just so that they can pour back in these celebrities. And that's what's rubbing us the wrong way, including Karrion Kross. This is the type of things that the WWE shouldn't be doing. It's not a great move for the wrestlers. Yes, it's a great move for the business, of course. They're making money, they're turning in the views, they're making all the profits, they're getting in the sponsorships, but it's not great for the morale of someone who's been in the indie route, who continues to try to swerve up, who, if you tell the person, hey, in go to your local gym, be in your local classes for wrestling, go to your local promotions, do some indie shows. One day you'll put out the tape, you'll go in out there, you'll get the shine, and you'll make it a WrestleMania. No, brother, it's not like that anymore. It's all about getting the views, the followers, the clicks, and then you should learn wrestling, because it's only going to take you about a week or a month, and then you'll be headlining WrestleMania. That's rubbing people the wrong way. Travis Scott was already jumping the ropes. He's already doing the moves. Bad Bunny was already in WrestleMania and Backlash. Logan Paul is 3-0 in WrestleMania. We have to continue to wonder, will they continue these bad things? Are wrestlers really getting upset? Is that just the point of view that Karrion Kross wants to put across? Is this just something that they want to do? Where was The Rock? Why is this happening? Why couldn't The Rock just show up to work? Why couldn't he just finish off his storyline and he leaves it off? But I do believe they will be pushing for Cody Rhodes against The Rock at one point, if not Roman Reigns against The Rock. They just know that those are the ticket sellers. They know that they can just leave the story as ambiguous as possible, and there's going to be the opportunity to have The Rock versus Cody Rhodes, a moment where it's going to be Cody Rhodes facing off against The Rock for the title, or for the people's title, or for the WWE company, or something of that strategic matter where The Rock is going to have to leave from performance or something, because he's already pretty much too busy. He's getting to a point where I don't believe he's going to be in much WrestleManias. John Cena's in his last one. We're going to start to see a lot of nostalgia acts, because there's a lot of people retiring. There's a lot of people coming to that age where we might not be seeing them in ring action anymore. And it's going to be breaking our hearts, definitely. It's going to be hurting our souls. We're taking in the brand new. We're bringing in the old. Rusev coming back is a sign of great things happening. Other superstars will be coming in. We have Lucha, AAA, TNA, all these type of things, that the acquisitions that the WWE has done, they continue to grow the sport internationally, and we definitely will know there's a lot to be built upon. There's a lot to continue to be done, and we'll have to see where exactly they will continue to do. For now, we're left wondering, Travis Scott has hit his role. He's smacked down Cody Rhodes a few times. He's shown up at WrestleMania. He caused the interference for not allowing Cody to pick up that win. He did pull the referee, and that got me with a huge gripe at the moment. Why couldn't they call a disqualification? I mean, the guy literally interfered. He's not the final boss. He's not gonna have those rights. He's not gonna fire him or something like that. The referee should have just been impartial, called it how it was, and disqualified John Cena, or just the match in general, because he was pulled. Travis Scott then later on, of course, goes there, celebrates with John Cena. There's no The Rock. We have to be aware that Travis Scott might continue to show up. He might continue to show up at Backlash or wherever The Rock and WWE may want him, because it is a pivotal point. It is a moment. He's already secluded himself in this whole John Cena Cena's storyline. He's already been there. For as much as we want to take him out, no matter what happens at this point, Travis Scott is going to be in this storyline. He's going to be involved in this little grain of sand because he's already jumping the ropes. He's doing the moves. He's showing us that he can be involved in wrestling. He has a passion for it. He's liking it. He's got his brand, Cactus Jack. He's already got the blessings from Mick Foley. So let's see what happens with this whole Travis Scott little storyline. Will he actually be wrestling? Will we be seeing Travis Scott against Cody Rhodes at any point? Will we be seeing anything like that? Or is he just going to continue to be that henchman for The Rock? Is he going to just continue to be that bad boy for John Cena that continues to not get any call, no interference? He's not going to be part of the referee's watch list because he supposedly has more power than them. He has something over them that will be putting them afraid. He wouldn't be sufficing for what they have for him. But of course, Travis Scott is a Grammy winner, nominator, and everything. He's a music talent producer, and he has the right to be in the WWE, secluding what is said. Karrion Kross, he would not agree, of course, but with everything else, the Cena storyline wouldn't be tied up if it wasn't for those two, The Rock, John Cena, Travis Scott, being all these trio, man. They've shown it before. He already came out. Of course, if The Rock couldn't come out, it was going to be Travis Scott that did, and it was how it played out. We have John Cena, of course, making the announcement. 27 more matches, more appearances. He's not going to have to fight. He's not going to have to defend the title. If anything, if he does defend the title, it's going to be limited. It's going to be pretty limited until who it chooses that the WWE to sell out those tickets. So far, what we've seen, it was Randy Orton that hit him with the surprise RKO. Of course, Randy Orton is a good guy. John Cena is a bad guy. What year are we living in? Yes, we are living in the future because John Cena is now a heel. Randy Orton is a good guy. He's defending all of us. He's doing it for the love of the game. He's hitting John Cena with an RKO. Will we be seeing Randy Orton win the title? Of course, he might be facing off, but I doubt they're going to take the title away from John Cena. They don't seem to be in that road rage. They don't seem to be in that plan. At the moment, it just seems like John Cena will continue to be that heel for now. Now, there were other title changes in WrestleMania, such as Jacob Fatu, the Samoan Werewolf, picking up that win, becoming that United States champion, becoming that new mid-card level champion. And we have to wonder, yes, the WWE seems to not know what to do at the moment with Jacob Fatu because they're placing him in the mid-card. I'm not saying that it's a bad place. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be the United States champion. I'm saying they couldn't push him up because they had Braun Breaker, they had Cody Rhodes, they had John Cena, Randy Orton. They had this whole storyline of people that want that main spot, and for now they just have to have Jacob Fatu down in the bottom. And that just has me wondering for our boy LA Knight, what's going to happen with him? Are they going to rise him up to that main event? Are they going to continue to give him that spot where it's just at the mid card? Will they continue to just fight those battles and not win those wars? Because in the end of the day, we wanted the megastar to become a megastar, to actually win a world title, to actually be in the main events, to actually be the number top guy, because we don't want it to be a Jey Uso type of scenario where it's all about the yeet, where it's all about the main event, but he's not real main event, where he's the champion, but he doesn't really feel like a champion. I feel like now we're just waiting on what will happen there. We want LA Knight to rise up to the top. We want LA Knight to become that champion. We want LA Knight to just, alright, he's taking this loss. He's been the two-time United States champion. We have to see, will he be going for that United States champion? Will he be going up? Will he be in the bottom? Will he be drafted? Because it could be that they do get drafted. It could be that the WWE does put the draft. They get switched around from SmackDown to Raw, from Raw to SmackDown, from NXT. They go up, and they got a lot of things going on. They might even build another brand, and that's the the funny thing, because of what they have in TNA, what they have in the AAA, what they have with those accusations, it just seems impossible to have so many megastars. But I'm not gonna lose faith on what they're gonna do with the megastar. So far, he has lost that United States Championship. He is in the mid card spot, but I do hope they put him up because we've all wanted LA Knight to be raised up. Congratulations, Jacob Fatu. Of course, well deserved, long journey. His brother still in the MLW. He'll get called one day, I believe. He'll be one of those wrestlers that become major league. But for now, we have the Fatu, of course, as United States champion, the bloodline running wild. What will happen with the whole bloodline situation? Tamatonga, Toaloa still out. He'll be coming back soon. Solo Sokoa looking like no longer a tribal chief. What type of new positioning will they give this? What type of recompensation will they have? Will Roman Reigns, for some reason, now that he's been betrayed by Paul Heyman, come back to that? It could all be cloudy now. But we mentioned him, Jey Uso, and we gotta mention him again. Does he feel like a real champion? I mean, yes, he beat Gunther. He's done the things. He sold the titles. He sold the merchandise. But holding on to that title is a prestigious plan. Yes, he's a great wrestler so far. He's shown us he's done the years, but it could be taken for granted that that title, there's a lot of competitors, a lot of strong people. There's a lot of things that come into play about why it wasn't worthy that Jey Uso just won. Yes, they might have given him the spotlight. They might have just done what they did with Becky Lynch, where they just gave him that spotlight, but it wasn't what we all thought it was gonna be. Why? Or for me, Gunther tapping out, and it's not about the tapping out, it's about how quick it happened. Once he had them in that lock, for me, it should have just been either he passed out just like Jey Uso was doing, or it wasn't a knockout. It wasn't immediately. It was gonna be about a few seconds. Cause now we have the whole questions that we heard on Raw. Gunther can't win the big one. Gunther can't do this. What's that gonna do for that guy? Will he be winning back his title? Will he be fighting for another title? We do know that for the whole longevity of the career of Gunther, he's been the one to hold on to a title. He's been the one to be the champion. He's been the one to hold on to whatever it takes. So we're left wondering, will he win back a title? Will he just continue to be a big boss, a big bad guy? He took out Pat McAfee. He's facing off against the commentators. He's salty about what happened. It's not just going to be resolved like that. The WWE might have to involve Jey Uso again. They might give him back this title. This is his form of getting back his revenge. This is his form of going back into Backlash, because Backlash is already like 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away. Things are moving fast. Things are moving quickly in the WWE, and they're not afraid to continue to pull these triggers, continue to make us switch and stuff. And that's why I like it. It feels like a new season. It feels like they really ended the last season. Everything ended at WrestleMania. There were some new changes. There were some new title changes. There were some new storylines formed. And now it's the beginning of a new season. So just what we had with that fatal four-way between Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Pentagon Jr., and of course Braun Breaker, the ex-champion, because Dominic Mysterio won, and it's not in a way of just winning. It was a poetic justice way where he pinned Finn Balor, he betrayed Finn Balor. Now we have Finn Balor, who's been wanting to betray Dominic and the whole Judgment Day. Now he's really jealous. Now he has this look of envy, this crazy look of rage. Will they bring back the demon? Will they finally bring, I know we talk about this all the time, but will they finally bring back the Finn Balor demon? Will they finally bring back a bad side of Finn Balor? For so long, it's been Finn Balor who was this one-time champion. He got into a really bad injury, and they haven't given him the opportunity that he ever deserved. They haven't gotten him back into that character. I don't know if the WWE don't believe in him, they don't love him, he's done something wrong behind the scenes, he's butted heads, he's really that guy where he's just really bad and evil, or if it's just not his time, if this was all a build-up, because it could be that the evil prince comes out one more time. We see the Prince of Darkness, we see the demon, we see Finn Balor recapture not only the Intercontinental title, but maybe rise up. It could be that he just betrays the Judgment Day, goes away, becomes Dominic's first real rival. Dominic already had his first real title defense. Thanks to JD McDonough coming back, we know that the Judgment Day is in full lock. We'll have to see what happens there. They don't have the tag team titles. I don't think that the WWE will be giving them back to them. But so far, it's been a great showing for the Judgment Day. It seems like their heat and their things are dying down. They have to just have this big old boom, and we're just gonna be expecting that. Congratulations, Dominic Mysterio. It seems like the crowd might no longer be booing him, and that's actually something surprising. He's done a quick turnaround from being one of the most hated people to having actually people cheer him, applaud him, be happy for him. Everything that they didn't really expect. I think that was one of the most unexpected wins. But yes, just like John Cena said on the Pat McAfee show, they deserve to give Dominic Mysterio his flowers. They deserve to give him everything he's gotten. They deserve, because he's continued to put in the work. He's a great performer, pretty much inside the ring, outside of the ring, on the podcast, on the streets. He does not give up the character. He's a one-all, be-all type of person, and he really will be great with that Intercontinental Championship. Talking about tag team titles, because JD McDonough is back, because Finn Balor might break away from the Judgment Day, we had Becky Hogan come back. Yes, I'm calling her Becky Hogan because she immediately won those titles, took them away, took the spot away from Liv Morgan, the Superstar Slammy Award winner of the year, and she just walked away with that. She just walked away with Lyra Valkyria, who's already the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, do we really have to do Lyra 2 belts? We did it because it all ended one day after we gave the titles back to Liv Morgan, but we did have to, of course, applaud them, give them the WrestleMania moment. Why did Becky Lynch deserve a WrestleMania moment? Didn't Liv Morgan deserve a WrestleMania moment? When have we done Liv Morgan a WrestleMania? Raquel Rodriguez has put on a great performance. She's been at why couldn't they just give these performers what they want? We don't understand the switch between the tag team titles. We do understand the switch of Becky becoming the bad girl, Becky becoming the heel, Becky coming after Lyra. Pretty much, it's gonna be an Intercontinental Champion. It's gonna be something that they put at Backlash. Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers, Becky takes that title away from Lyra, and it's not because I like Becky, it's because I dislike Lyra. She's moved up too fast for me in the company. She's become the second runner-up in the Queen of the Ring. She became the first IC title holder. She is now having a feud at WrestleMania and with Becky Lynch. I mean, why exactly did this girl get all these flowers when people like Roxanne Perez, the literal prodigy, is barely coming up, is barely having to do her spots and rising up and attacking Stephanie Becerra and attacking Io Sky and just pretty much announcing herself? She's already done so much. Anyways, we're getting off track, but Becky Lynch against Lyra Valkyria. We'll have to see where that takes us. We'll have to see if they're just going to continue to build up Lyra's resume. It could just be that she just builds up and takes down another great rival that she has now defended multiple IC title spots and everything like that. She will continue to be a great person, but for now, we'll have to see what happens in the IC title. What will happen, because they're moving up NXT people. They're moving them up quickly. We're seeing how they're not afraid. The draft might happen soon. They got a lot of things that are popping out all around the WWE that is exciting. They had a bunch of ads. They had a bunch of storylines kind of flop. They had people questioning their heads about where this will all take. But this is a great new fresh thing. The WWE was wild, it was a crazy time, it was a great WrestleMania experience, a bad WrestleMania experience, the most expensive WrestleMania experience. But now we know exactly what the future for WWE holds. There are new streaming service, there are new visionary, new plans for the future of wrestling. They're intaking AAA, TNA, they're bringing back wrestling to a new feeling, and it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Don't get me wrong, WrestleMania was great. Feuds such as Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair were definitely something that maybe it wasn't the hype of the night. They didn't have enough build. They were just like, okay, they have two rookies here, one person that just came back, one person that definitely has the spotlight for the first time, and they don't know how to interact with each other. But at the end of the day, they did great. It exceeded in what they did. She lost her teeth. That's a scary injury. That's pretty much tough, and we have to determine where are we gonna go with Charlotte Flair. Will she continue to be in this mix with Tiffany Stratton? Will Tiffany Stratton go back to Nia Jax? Will Tiffany Stratton continue to solidify herself? They've done a great job of pushing her. They've done a great job of putting her on the top, of putting her on the heights, and she continues to be above the ranks. We all know that Tiffany Stratton has continued to be one of the greats. She has lots of fandom. She has lots of merchandise being sold, and we can only say what lies ahead for this new backlash, because everything with the NXT people coming up, with everything that is revolving the WWE, we know that there's going to be a huge involvement of growth, of talent, of everything in between in that sense. So we can only make fact of the matter that they will continue to grow the sport. They will continue to grow Tiffany Stratton. Yes, the women's division will continue to grow. We had, of course, Chelsea Green not defend her United States Championship, but we will get to see her soon, definitely on SmackDown. It has to be that Selena will be facing off. Yes, once Queen Selena over there at NXT. Now we'll have to see what will happen to her. We'll have to determine what exactly we can do with something like that. Will they be dropping the title to Selena? Will they continue to give it to Chelsea Green? So far, they've done a great job with the Secret Service. If anything, I would have just given the Secret Service this part in WrestleMania and not really giving it to Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Yes, it was a major pop for Becky Lynch, but why exactly did we have to do this? Why exactly do we continue to ruin our hearts, to break our souls, to do everything like that? Just like breaking our souls, The Rock not showing up, not doing his work, not doing his due diligence, showing up on the Pat McAfee show saying, Wayne wasn't needed. Yes, you were, man. You pretty much put yourself in the storyline. You continue to say, well, it's going to be ambiguous. No, it doesn't have to be ambiguous. Let's all just leave it to the ring. It's all about showman nowadays. It used to be about wrestling. It used to be about actual crafting of the storylines, actual building of the fans. Now it just seems like they're doing it all for the views and the clicks and the sponsorships, and we don't really understand why. We're pushing people over like Logan Paul. We're pushing people over. I'm surprised that the only celebrity we almost got to see in ring action was Travis Scott this year, being that last year we seen KSI, I Show Speed, other people on the card, and we don't really understand why. Because so far wrestling, yes, it's sacred. Yes, you can put them in the stands, you can put them involved in maybe the shenanigans, such as when Andrew was there, the comedian, he was there, he stepped into the ring, he did his little showboating thing with AJ Styles. That was pretty much good. That's a good gimmick. But other than that, involving them in the match, being like Travis Scott slapping Cody Rhodes, being involved in what it was, I mean, he took his sweet time walking to the stand. He took his sweet time right there, pretty much enjoying soaking in. He jumped over the rope. I'm not gonna get over the fact that he is taking classes. He is ready to battle. He might be in the card for Backlash. We might get to see The Rock. We might not, and that is the problem. But people that we do deserve to continue to see is these Hall
Paul Heyman boys. I mean, I'm hearing around the internet the new evolution. The new evolution. We have Batista as Braun Breaker. We have, of course, Triple H and Seth freaking Rollins. Now we just need Randy Orton. Who is this prodigy? It's not gonna be Carmelo Hayes, sadly. But what if they rise up someone from NXT? What if they actually do put someone up who could be a type of Randy Orton? I would say maybe, I don't know, I'm not gonna say anything because WWE moves so fast. We had NXT, we got WrestleMania, everything just happened, a new season starting, a new show in this new era, and we have to just stay awake, stay wide awake, and understand it's all connecting. If you watched so far, just let me know down in the comments, subscribe, like, it helps out the show because you know it's gonna grow. We're only going up, and we can only understand, just like the WWE, they're only going up as well. We have to implement things that don't even matter. What really matters is that every superstar did get to shine ultimately, but other superstars deservedly were hidden in the background. People from SmackDown, people that deservedly needed a spotlight, were pushed down for Titan, Clash of Titan ads, and such of that sort. We already talked about them, but we can dive more into other ads. We're going into the good things about WrestleMania. We're going into the great things about WrestleMania, the spectacular show stopping. We had Stephanie McMahon show up one day, Triple H show up the other day. We had Stone Cold crashes ATV one day, and then on the other day, we just had HBK announced. So it was a contrast of things. Saturday, Sunday, it does seem to be more important always to go in on a Sunday. If you're debating about which day you should be showing up, if you're debating about what WrestleMania is the more important one, it seems to always be Sunday. It seems to not matter anymore about what they're breaking into, and that's kind of the bottom line about what they're gonna do for this new SummerSlam. 2 nights, just like WrestleMania. What do we expect? Saturday to be the weak one, Sunday to be the strong one. We definitely want both to be strong. It could have been any sort of things. Definitely both nights were good, don't get me wrong, but it does come down to the fact of what will we be stating the facts. Will we be complaining? Will we be stating, okay, is Pat McAfee okay? Is he gonna be involved in the match? Is he gonna be taken away? Will Michael Cole be in a match? There's a lot of rumors out there for what the new evolution, aka the Paul Heyman boys, could be doing. Of course, we already know they are replacing Braun Breaker with the other Brock blah blah, who doesn't get mentioned anymore in WWE, and that's kind of sad. He was a big implementation into everything. He does get thrown under the bus sometimes, but it does come down to, it's gonna come down to this lawsuit. Whatever happens with Vince McMahon, it's a new season in the WWE. That's the most exciting part. We're already showing things. We're already previewing that there's rises up coming up. So just stick around because we'll be covering everything. Thank you for watching.